dealing with those people. Oh, that's a trigger word? I'll leave you standing see-through. I'm known to catch wreck. He do. I'm planning my next steps. Defeat you. If you ain't heard, I'm that. Sequel. Award-winning, magnificent, ain't no one that's my equal. Prequel, I'm the lethal, some say unbelievable. Who? Rich Bees, he make it do what it do. Who knew? Album 2, in my mind I chose to deliver to you. On your porch, kick the box like UPS do. I ain't through with this dose of truth. One too many ain't shoot. Why would I choose to inform you? I'm letting loose 59 milli, pot of stove, I'm cooking goose. Hey yo, hey yo, hey yo. It is me. It is I, Rich Bees, the real Rich Bees. And yes, I'm back, right? Valentine's weekend is over. We back on it, right? And so we're gonna jump right into this because this is not gonna be no long stream. Okay? We're not doing no long stream this morning. We're gonna keep this short, sweet, might not be sweet, but really concise. Okay. So as I stated, Valentine's weekend is over. However, when you go on a Friday and look at your bills and realize that bills are out of whack, it kind of makes you like, well, what the heck, right? This one is in reference to the electric bill, right? And I'm going to be totally open and honest and transparent about this. So if we have a bill that comes and each month it just increasingly gets higher, what the heck is happening? It's one thing that, it becomes wintertime. And in the winter, yes, electric bills do rise. However, if you are being mindful with the way in which you are using said service, and yet it still keeps going up, what do you do? Right? What do you do? Because at that point, if it keeps rising, then where's the top? Right? Like, where's the top? If each month you have a 30% increase on what that is, but your usage, the way that you're using it in your space is consistent, meaning you do the same things every day, nothing really changes. You're you do this and then you do that and then you do this. You know what I'm saying? Like, and each day you're basically doing almost the exact same things. That means that the usage kilowatt hours should remain constant, right? It might be slight fluctuations, maybe within 100 kilowatts or something like that, but not 30% difference, always increasing, ever increasing. Makes no sense, right? I mean, give me some feedback. Get in the chat. Tell me. That makes no sense, right? Because I don't think so either. There's no reason that if you have the same usage, you do the same things every day, eat lunch at the same time, go to bed around the same time, your same usage on your computer, same usage on your TV, same usage on your refrigerator, because you do the same things the same way almost every day. If that is your life and that is how you run your day-to-day operations, then that means that when looking at the bill, it should be pretty much consistent, right? Not exact. Like I said, there's differences that may happen. But for the most part, usage, you're doing the same things. There comes a problem or a point, excuse me, at which you look at this thing and you're like, this ain't right. This can't be right. Because it's not just saying that the bill changes. It's also understandable when electric companies raise up a bill, right? They're raising the cost per kilowatt hour, you know, if they raise that up 10%, 5%, if they're raising it up, understandable. Understandable that the bill price, the money that you pay, would be more, right? But if it's not saying that the price is changing, it's saying that the usage is changing, there's a problem. There's a problem. So chat, we have a problem. And you saw the mad face on the notification. You know I'm crunk. You know it's a problem. And that's why I'm on here. Let's talk about it, shall we? Here we go. So I called customer service, right? Called them up. Miss Customer Service Rep, and I'm not going to name any names because, to be honest, let's start off with the call system. Same way we had that whole conversation about Apple and how Apple does billing, right? And how you can't use your Apple card or Apple Cash card, right, as a payment method unless, well, you can't use their, what do you call it? The way that you connect with the wallet or whatever, and you use Apple Pay. You can't use Apple Pay to pay a bill with Apple. You have to add the card. You can use your Apple Cash card, but you have to get the numbers out your phone, put it in there, and all that kind of stuff. If that's your payment method, meaning your payment system where you can pay with things with Apple Pay, why can't you use that to pay Apple bills? Makes no sense. Apple invoices, Apple apps. You can't use Apple Pay to do that. So if you click the button, well, there is no button that says Apple Pay, right? That's what we talked about last time. I'm not going to get into that rant again. Nope, not doing it. We're talking about utility. Okay, that's what we're talking about. Call customer service after receiving said bill. Talk to customer service. What happens? First off, you got to get through their automated phone tree, whatever you want to call it. Call them, talk to the automated system. Automated system hangs up on me. Yeah, yeah, that part hangs up on me. Then call back, get past where I was last time, right? And then hang up on me again. That makes 2 times. That makes twice in the same span of time that they hang up on me. Call back again. Yeah, you guessed it. Yep. They hung up on me again. So now, even if I felt reasonable in the way that my, let's say, emotions were in making that call, right? I called, okay, bill, okay, it might be out of whack or whatever. Let me call, let me check on it, right? So I'll pick up the phone, you dial the numbers, boom, boom, boom. You feeling okay, pretty upset about the bill, but you know, I'm professional. Let's have a conversation about it, right? One business owner, one entrepreneur, to the company. So I understand in dealing with customer service what that looks like, right? So right now, I'm feeling really kind of, okay. Yeah, the automated customer service is jacked. Exactly. All across the board. Thank you for that, RB Visions. Appreciate that. And first time chat. Wonderful. Thank you for coming to join. So you end up having a conversation or trying to get through the automated phone tree. And what happens? Right? They're hanging up on you and stuff like that. By the time you get to the third call, you're pissed. Pissed, right? Because you've been hung up on 3 times. Now you got to go through the same phone tree again. Get past them finally and get to a representative. Because at this point, I don't even want to deal with the automated system, right? I want 0, 0, pound out, whatever you want to call it, to get me to daggone representative, right? You call you customer service rep. You got your phone, customer service rep. You yelling at them and all kind of stuff, just trying to get to a customer service rep. You know what I'm saying? And it gets so frustrating. You know what I'm saying? So now you're pissed. You're really pissed at this point. And they get on the phone And this is what I said when I was starting off, and I was saying, oh, Miss Customer Service Rep, or whatever. And I'm not going to say no names. The reason why I'm not is because one, when she answered the phone, she was super pleasant. Hey, this is so and so, and she acted very, very, like her whole energy when she came on that line was wonderful, wonderful. You know what I'm saying? Hope you're having a blessed day. How may I help you? I was like, oh, wow. Thank you for that. I appreciate that. Right? Right off the gate, I had to acknowledge how pleasant of a voice she had. Right? And not just the voice, because you could tell when somebody has a nice voice, but they're still like, I don't want to be here. I don't want to deal with nobody. I'm not trying to answer no phone, right? Like you can tell when somebody comes on and kind of responds in that manner. However, she acted like, I'm happy I'm at work. I'm happy I have a job. I'm happy that I'm able to talk to people and try to help them out as best I can. That was just in the first 5 seconds of the call, right? So now that immediately diffused my frustration, right? Almost to the point that I almost forgot why I called. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't even remember what I called for. Was I pissed? I don't know. Was I? I don't know. You know what I mean? You're like, shoot. So now I'm like, okay, we go through the process, right? Of the author not authorizing, but you know how you have to tell them who you are, all that kind of stuff. And I don't even understand that, because if I authorized it through the automated system, then how come you don't know that it's me that's calling at this point? You know what I'm saying? Once I get to you, you should already know it's me. I've already authenticated. That's the word I'm looking for. I've already authenticated the call. So now I'm talking to this rep and I'm like, here's the deal. And I'm looking at the system, because anytime that you call customer service, pull up your web account, pull it up on the web so you can look at it while you're talking to them, right? Because if you don't, what happens is you kind of like, ooh, blah, 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 right? Like you don't really realize the magnitude of where your frustration was. But if it's in front of you, now you see it. I see where my frustration was. This bill number total is way too high. What the heck? And try to explain it, right? So because I'm very professional, because I know how to talk to people, right? I used to be customer service back in the day. So I understand when talking to customer service what that can be if you come on the line and you start acting all wild. So you make sure that when you talk to customer service, you're one, being very professional back with them, right? Have a pleasant tone with them also, despite your frustration, because sometimes they can look out for you. They can, you know, fudge some things here, move some things here, modify some things there, right? So be pleasant when you talk to them, no matter what your frustration is. They're not that representative is not the person who jacked your bill up. That representative is not the person who bills you excessively. They're not them. They're not them. Okay. So back yourself up, right? Reframe it, look at the situation and say, this person is here supposedly to help me. However, they're representing the company. So, yes, I could be frustrated with them, but they're here as a medium to try to fix this issue, right? At least provide some sort of resolve. It might not be in your favor, but it still may be something that's equitable for both parties, right? Because you did use this usage, you should pay this bill. Okay, cool, but how can we fix this, right? Because sometimes those numbers could be wrong, right? And I think they understand that. This representative, she did understand that. However, we went through the past months since I've been in this place of bills. And what we went through, what I noted is the fact that every month, the usage, not bill, well, bill is tracking with the usage, but the usage was going up by 30 to 40% every month. Daggone near 50, yeah, daggone near 50%, right? So whatever that bill was, let's just say for illustration purposes only, let's say that bill was $200, right? The very next month, usage has stayed the same, meaning at what I know we do here has been consistent. Like I said, like I started off this talk, usage has been consistent from our standpoint, right? So if the meter though is saying that now we've used 40 to 50% more, billing tracks at the same. So now my $200 bill becomes $300, right? Okay. So if in, okay, let's go back some months because I want to show you how this stacks. Okay. If my bill was, let's say in October, that bill was $100. Let's say November now, my bill is, you would say 150, right? You would say 150. I knew you were going to say that. I know your math. I know it adds up, but that's not true because it was a 100% increase. The next month went from 100 to 200, I mean to 200, right? 200 to 300, right? Next month, 300. Okay, no, 350. But point is that it's ever increasing, right? To the tune of getting a $500 bill, right? Over a 5-month period. Wild work. Wild work. So, if the things that I have done in this property has been consistent, don't go up and down on the heating, the temperature, the thermostat, right? Don't change that. The lights we use in here, pretty much consistent. They're on at the same rate, you know what I mean? Almost every light in here is LED, right? My computers, they're all Macs. They're the new Macs, so the usage of them are less than 30 watts across the board. Nothing changes. Everything stays on. Everything stays the same. Power didn't go up and down. It's that way. What's the problem? What's the problem? Especially if you keep telling me that I'm using more. That would indicate that I'm adding more products to the grid, right? That would indicate that I am drawing more power by using more things to be able to make that bill increase by 40 to 50% each month, each billing cycle. Not a thing. Because the same equipment I had set up by the end of month 1 is the same equipment that I'm running month 6. Doesn't matter. It's been the same. So how can the bill increasingly get, no? Okay, let's say that the bill go up, but the part that really matters is the usage. If the usage is going up, that has to be false. There's no way it could be the same. There's no way that can be true. Don't see a way. Not at all. If, and you can look back, okay, now let's really test this theory here. Look back on all of my videos. Either you go to the YouTube channel or you can go to the Twitch. Twitch only go back 7 weeks. But you know what? I'm gonna do y'all one better because y'all are my peoples. Y'all are my peoples. We talk like this. Y'all know how we do, right? We talk like this. So let's talk like this. Let's get into detail. Let's really check this. Okay, let's check this. How are we gonna check this today? We're gonna check this by pulling up receipts. Okay, we're gonna pull up receipts. We know, both of us, all of us, right? Me and you all. We know that since I've been streaming since December 22nd, 2025. Okay, December 22nd, 2025. Let's go back in time. Okay, let's go back in time. How are we going to go back in time? You say, Rich Bees, how are we going to go back in time? I'm going to show you how we can go back in time. We're going to go back in time by looking at each and every video that I've posted on my from the streams that we've done, right? From the streams that we've been on since we've been on here. we can look at the streams. This will give us some more context, right? How? I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna show you in 1 second. I'm gonna show you how. Because I told you that we basically keep everything consistent. There's nothing really changing here. It's usually always the same. Okay. So here's how I'm gonna show you. We're gonna go back in time. We're gonna go back in time. How are we gonna go back in time, Rich Bees? I'm gonna show you. Here we go. Give me 1 second, and I'm gonna put it. We're gonna put this theory to the test. Okay, we're gonna put this theory to the test because I wasn't posting the whole time, right? Like I wasn't posting uh shorts the whole time on YouTube, but now I am. And so I went back and I also added some, but we're gonna start from the day that I started posting the shorts, and I'm gonna show you something. Here we go. Let's go to the desktop. Okay, and here we go. Boom. Right. So now what we have here is the desktop. Okay. Now hold up because it's not looking right. So let me get it right. Un momento. Un momento. What is that? Why is it doing that? Hold on 1 second. Let's go back. Let's go back. I'm gonna show you. We about to make this really, really clear. Really, really clear. Boom. And let me check this. Boom. Boom. Oh, it didn't refresh. Hold on. That's the problem. I gotta refresh the desktop. Give me 1 second. We gonna get it right. We gonna get it right. We gonna get it right. Boom, boom, boom. Let me see if I can get this up. Is that it? Yeah, okay. Boom, now it's showing. All right, cool. Here we go. I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna put it up and make sure it's doing it. Yep, whammo. All right, here we go. Boom, go to the desk. Now, when you look at this feed, right? This video right here, which I published in January 16th, but I think the video was done sometime towards the beginning of January, right? Because like I told you, I went back and did that. I went back and did that, okay? And posted that. So if we were to really look at this, and y'all see the feed right here, look at what I got on, right? That is oh, you can't see the bottom one. Okay. That's because my follow counter is up. Hold on, let me turn off the follow counter just for a second so you can see that. Boom. You see that bottom video right there? Right? That bottom video, I have on a sweater, right? Oh, y'all still can't see it. Can I do this? Oh, it's not gonna show you the bottom video. Okay. Cause I'm scrolled all the way up, but y'all can't see it. Y'all only start seeing this one, the one that's right here. This is the one that y'all are seeing. But that's fine. We can start there. But just you can go look for yourself, okay? You can go look for yourself and you'll see that that video I had on a sweater. Okay? Go to the next video. Next video, I got on a hat and a jacket, right? Polo green jacket. All right? Next video, yellow sweater, right? Next video, hoodie, right? These are from the same day. Next video, sweatshirt. Next video, full on thick hoodie. Next video, hoodie. Well, sweatshirt, right? Next video, sweatshirt. Next video, sweater, sweatshirt, hoodie, 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 hoodie and hat, right? This is the sweater that was on the first video, but I wore it again, obviously, a month later, right? Boom, sweatshirt. Come on, right? Jacket. Boom. You know what I'm saying? This takes us all the way up to February 13th, right? This is prior to Valentine's Day, which is the last short that I posted. Okay, so now that's context. Context for what you ask. Context for the fact that my heat is so low that I gotta wear sweaters. Not because I'm necessary. We didn't do it because I wanted to have to wear sweaters on my stream. I didn't do it because I'm trying to be cheap and save money either. I did it because I want to have a consistent type of feeling in my house, right? So because I can adjust to that, but I can't adjust if the temperature keeps changing, right? So I need to have a consistent temperature across my house. And so to do that, I lowered it down to as low as I feel is still comfortable in the environment, which is still cold, right? When it got cold, when it started, temperature dropped. Okay, cool. Boom, consistent temperature. So I'm saying that to say that what I'm doing is being mindful of my usage by evening it out so it always runs at a certain temperature in here. Whether it gets colder, whether it gets hotter, doesn't matter. It's a low enough temperature that it shouldn't come on much. Right now, I'm in here. No air, no heat is on. Even though it is probably what, 40 degrees outside right now? What's the temperature? Let's see. Temperature right now is 50 outside, right? But ain't no heat running because I have it set low enough that it doesn't come on. It hardly comes on. But yet my usage keeps going up. Wild work, ladies and gentlemen. Wild work. Wild work. So let's back up. Let's get back to where we were. Talk to the customer service rep. Explain these things. All of our lights are LED. All of our computers are low energy draw. We don't do anything different than we did the month prior. Like all of this kind of stuff. So please, if you will, Miss Customer Service Rep, explain to me why my usage keeps going up. Oh, well, maybe it's the water heater. Is your water heater leaking? Well, no, we had that service back in November. Is the air conditioning, when's the last time you had your air conditioning unit serviced? Well, we had that done in November also. So, no, maybe it's the refrigerator. It's a brand new refrigerator, people. What you're trying to do is find an excuse to pin it on to say that this is the reason why your electric bill is going up consistently every month. No, people, not at all. Not at all. Let me tell you what I think. What I think is that the company, somebody within in the metering department felt like, well, here's what we'll do. In that area, people don't even complain. They just pay their bill. So if we just jack it up, they're not going to complain about it. We're just going to say that they had more usage, right? Sounds plausible. It's supposed to snow. It got cold. Let's jack up the bill. They're not even going to really notice the fact that it went up. They're going to say, oh, well, yeah, we were home. We didn't go to work and we just ran, and the heat was probably on so we can have a warm place. And so we didn't go to work, matter of fact, a couple of days. So we just turned, our heat was on way more than it used to be. That's probably plausible that our bill went up. People, I work from home. People, I don't go anywhere. I'm normally here. Y'all see me. You see all my streams. I go live multiple times a day. Some days. No reason. No reason. I know what usage I'm using, and it's not that. It can't go up to that metric every month. Not a thing. So, in this conversation, I'm telling this customer service representative, I'm feeling taken advantage of. I feel like somebody is doing something shady. She says, well, you know what? What you can do is call this other number, and they can do an assessment on what is using majority of your electricity. Mm, I hear you. I hear you. But using majority of my electricity does not equate to you being able to tell me how my usage number went up. Because if my heat or AC unit, right? Heating and AC unit, if that is drawing, let's say, what they said, now this is a quote from them. They said that across all of people who use power, half of their electric bill is normally your heating and AC unit. Half of it. Your water heater equates to 15% of your bill. Your refrigerator equates to about 10% of your bill. Right? So they're giving me the breakdowns. And so I had to ask her, ma'am, are you talking about this is on my system? These are my stats of how these percentages are breaking down on my bill? She said, no, this is across the whole thing. This is across electric, period. I said, okay. So then these stats don't apply, right? They don't apply to my situation. She was like, well, no, this is just like I said, on average. Okay, cool. Cool. Thank you for that bit of information. Not necessarily needed, but it's understanding for context, right? So context basically is saying that 50% of most bills are going to be the heating and AC unit. Well, if my heating and AC unit doesn't come on, maybe it might come on 3 times a day, stay on for about 15 minutes per time, maybe. I want to say it doesn't stay on for longer than probably 7 minutes, but let's just say, okay, let's just say. So she says, well, do y'all have drafts near your windows? Or do you have drafts coming in under your door? Well, I said, no, I've walked close to my doors and there's no drafts, right? We don't even really go outside. So it's not like we have kids that go in and out the doors, right? Once we're home, we're home. If we go to the store, we go to the store, come right back, go home, come home, and we probably don't go out no more that day. My point I'm saying here is that my energy usage is pretty consistent in the way that we operate, which means that when I look at my usage map, if you will, right? My usage scale over months, it should be pretty consistent when you look at the number, when you look at the actual usage. I understand the bill amount may go up and down because they be charging more, they add more, whatever to the bill or whatever, or they went and got an update where, they start charging you 18% more for electricity in that area. I get that. Not that I like it, but I understand it. And so if I understand it, then I can understand why the bill could change. Okay. But what I can't understand is how my usage will change when the fact I do the same thing month after month. Don't understand it. You can't tell me that I'm using 40% more energy this month than I did last month. You can't tell me that. You can't tell me that my next month is probably going to be even higher than that. You can't tell me that. You know what I'm saying? Like, so that's where I have the problem. And again, this ain't the customer service rep. She didn't do it. She didn't change my usage. You know what I mean? So I have to be mindful with how I'm speaking with her, even though I may be getting frustrated. But what I did was I tried to be very, what's the word for it? Emotionally intelligent when I spoke with her. How did I do that? Because I told her, I said, you know what? This makes me feel angry. I said, you know what? Hold up. That's not correct. That is not correct. Right now, I feel frustrated. Why do I feel frustrated? Because y'all are telling me that my usage is changing. However, it's pretty consistent. I don't do anything different. It could fluctuate maybe a couple hundred, but it can't fluctuate thousand kilowatt hours difference. No, no, maybe one, maybe even 200 kilowatts different, but not thousand. No, and not a couple thousand, because what I'm seeing is the fact that it's going up by the thousands. How would that work if you consistently, day after day, pretty much do the same exact thing all day, right? Right now it's running on 12 o'clock, right? It's 12:10 in my area. What does that mean? That means that for me, and y'all know this is about the time that I'll get off my screen, right? So even if I start at 10, if I start at 11, whatever, around 12 to 1 o'clock, I'm normally not having a stream. Why am I not having a stream? Because it's lunchtime, because I'm going to go eat, right? If I do stream again, it's going to be around 2, maybe 3 o'clock, right? On a weekday, normally. There may be a chance that I might push it till 5 o'clock, but most of the time I'm not because why? I have other things to do, right? So that's why I come on here in the middle of the day. So what I'm saying is my life is pretty consistent. The way that I do what I do is consistent, right? If that's the case, then that means whatever is in this studio is being used the same way each and every day. Now, obviously, I don't live by myself. I have others that live with me. These others operate the same way though. They leave at the same time if they're going to the gym. They come home at the same time. They go, to work at the same time. They stop working at the same time. They go to bed at the same time. They wake up at the same time. Same thing. We have a routine. In this routine, not much changes. Little variance here or there, but most of the time you can bet your bottom dollar that at a certain time this person's going to be in a certain place doing a certain thing. That is how it operates here. So you can't tell me that my usage is fluctuating by thousands of kilowatt hours when it comes to electricity because we always use the same things. Doesn't matter day or night, we're doing the same thing at the same time in the same way. That's where the problem lies. Okay. This is what I'm telling you. This is where the problem lies. So if you're talking to customer service, you have to first hear them out, right? Like you state your problem, you tell them what you feel like is going on. You don't tell them to resolve, you don't tell them anything else. You tell them, hey, here's the problem that I'm seeing. Here's the issue I'm having with the bill. Here's the thing that I want to talk to y'all about. Please give me some insight. They will do their best to try to give you insight and say, hey, well, this is what your bill currently is. This is what it was last month. Here's the changes that we see that we can tell. We have a change in the amount of usage and blah, blah, blah. Okay, cool. I hear you. Here's the issue I have with it. Now I rebut what they said with a new way of translating the things that I know is going on within my dwelling. Okay, I get that. So then we finally get to a point of, well, what do you want to do about this? My question back to you is, what are my options? Well, your options are this, your options are that, and you can possibly go do this, and you could possibly go do that. Gotcha. Will any of these change what this bill is currently? Because this bill is outrageous. Well, no, because this bill is already the bill. This bill is already printed. So you're telling me that if I make these changes, then it can possibly add on to another bill or do something different with another bill, but that bill may still get increased because of this current bill if we modify this current bill for the next bill. Yes. So in other words, what you're telling me is that these bills are going to consistently be higher no matter what I do, no matter what I change. Based on the examples that we've given, that's exactly right. Even though my usage is the way that I run my house is consistent. People, I'm not saying that I can't pay the bill. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is there's no reason why I should have to pay that bill at that rate, making that amount. There's no reason why I should. But what they know is that you have no recourse, especially when it comes to one of the utilities, right? When it comes to a utility, you have no recourse. You can't go, if it's water, let's just say, if it's water bill, sanitation bill, what do you call it? Electric bill, right? Those services right there, water, sewage, electricity, you basically have no other option. I don't know of an area that I have multiple options on the power company that runs that area, right? I don't have any other option of who provides water in the area that I live, right? And I'm saying this to say that If you do, if in your area you can choose different electric companies, let me know. I'll wait. Jump in the chat. Jump in the chat if you can choose whatever electric company that you want. Still haven't found one? Your area doesn't either? Yeah, I know. I know it doesn't. You can't choose a different water company. You can't choose a different sewage company, sanitation company. I think there may be a couple different areas that you might be able to go to a different like sanitation recycling company. Maybe. But if you can, I'm gonna tell you now that that's rare. That's rare. If you live in an area that you can choose your sanitation company, that's rare. Or your water company or your electric company. If you can choose between, you know what? I don't want to go to them. I want to go to them. Nope. Nope. Now, can you do that with cable? No. That's another service. However, there's something different when it comes to cable. There's something different when it comes to TV viewing these days. Okay, something different because no, you may only have one company that you can use when it comes to cable, quote unquote, right? Quote unquote, cable. One company in your area. However, you have other options when it comes to that. Okay, so if you want TV, yes, you can go to cable, but you also have the option, depending upon your HOA, on whether you get satellite. Right? You can get satellite TV, not have to worry about cable at all. Right? When it comes to internet, same thing. You could either get that from your cable company, you can get that from your cell phone company, you can get that from your from was it Elon Musk and whatever that one's called. I don't even remember what it's called right now, but you have options. You have options. Right? You can utilize one of those options, right? One of the cable option, I mean, one of the internet options to then not have cable to be able to get TV, right? So you can get internet from, I don't want to call it SpaceX because it's not SpaceX, it's whatever that name of that service is. Y'all know what I'm talking about. But whatever the name of that, their internet going into the sky is called, that. You can get that and then use that to watch TV. You can get your cell phone provider to provide you with a modem. It connects wirelessly to the towers. You can get internet on that, watch TV through that, right? So there's other ways in which you can still get TV access. There's no other ways that you can get electric. There's no other ways that you can get water. So basically in your area, your utility service of water, your utility service of power is a monopoly. Let's be honest, right? Because that's what we do on this channel, right? We're being honest, open, and transparent, and that's what you get. You get a monopoly in that area, which is why they have to be regulated by that area's government. Because if they weren't, they would end up jacking up the prices every daggone day. It would never come down, and it would constantly go up until everybody is totally broke, and they will probably buy the land that your house sits on that you're trying to pay for power for. They will probably buy all those houses with your money that you spent on those raising electric bills and then rent it out to you. Rent you back out the same house that you own because you had to lose it because you kept paying this increasingly high power bill. That's the reason why you have a committee that handles these type of requests of raising rates when it comes to electric in an area or water in an area. So I'm telling you right now that you have no other option. And because you have no other option, they can change them bills to whatever they want. And yes, they are kind of managed when it comes to the government, like I just explained. The fact of the matter still is that it's still higher than if there was competition. Their customer service, and that's what the one thing that I can say is that their customer service, remember I told you at the beginning of this video, the customer service still, the rep that I talked to today was very pleasant, very helpful, very a great person. I think individually she was great. Okay. That's rare for companies that are monopolies in an area. That's rare. So the fact that they have that one particular rep, excellent, and she probably will be going places because of the fact that people will listen and really vibe with her because of the way that she presents herself on the call. So I want to give that shout out. However, it's still no different in the fact that I'm still dealing with a monopoly. I'm still dealing with a uh, tyrant company, right? A tyrannical company that is gouging pricing based on it being wintertime and trying to say that I'm using more electricity than I am and putting that into the system as if it's true. Now, you know how they used to have meter readers back in the day? Meter readers used to come out and they come on the side of your house, read the meter and say, okay, boom, 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 this is the electric usage. And they put it in their little pad and they go back and type it into the system. You know what I'm saying? Well, these days, a lot of them are wireless. So the person drives down the street, grabs the signal off the house wirelessly, right? And that's how they read your meter. They don't go out and open their eyes up and look at the numbers. They grab it wirelessly as they drive by your house real slow, like they're doing a drive by. That's what they do. They drive by like it's a drive by and grab your signal. Now, here's the thing with that. I don't know too much about that technology. Does it want to make me go down the rabbit hole to figure out more about that technology? It kind of does. To be honest, it kind of does. I kind of want to know how that works because could it be that that number is being skewed somewhere in that system? If it's changeable, if somebody can come by, scan it, but then can modify it in their system before it gets plugged in, that means it could be some kind of dark net, like a person that they're coming around reading the meters, but their what do you call it? Um, their goal, right? Their mission, whenever their higher ups told them to go out and do meters this month, right? I'm pretty sure they do a whole, meeting every probably like Monday or sometime during the week. They do a team meeting in that area and they go talk to all the meter readers at the same time and they say, you know what? We're going out here. We need to make sure we make a quota. We need to get these rates up. We need to get this income coming in. You know what I'm saying? And we're the first line of defense. And so whatever the meter says that comes into your system, I need you to plus it plus 100 on there. I need you to plus, you know what I'm saying? Like, because we're going to distribute this usage out because some people are paying this consistent bill thing. So we're not really getting the money we need right now. So we need to go ahead and, get these bills up a little bit. You know what I'm saying? And so when they read that meter, they say, boop, 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 let me add in another 1,000 kWh on this one. Let me add another 500. So they're doing it randomly. I'm going to add another 500 on this one. I'm going to add another 1,000 on this one. Like, and so could it be that there's some kind of shiftiness going on in the reading? Possibly. Possibly. Because if the system isn't just like, for instance, right? If you stream this video, okay? If you stream this video, which you're in the chat now, you're watching wherever you are, if you stream this video and let's say 100 of you watch this video, okay? If 100 of you watch this video, because the system is getting it, there's no man-made input anywhere. The system is, your stream, I'm streaming, y'all are logging onto the stream. The system is counting everybody, every unique IP address that hits this stream. The number I get back out that says how many people view my stream would be 100. Because 100 people tuned in, boom, into the stream. Right? That's how it will work. Why? No human intervention. The system was told to calculate every time somebody came in, and it did that. And it spit out the final number. However, if there was human intervention, then people could put in at whatever point that human is able to get into the mix. They can say, oh, you know what? Let's give him another 100 viewers. Boop, boop. You know what I'm saying? If you have a human involved, things can be changed. If there's a possibility that numbers can be changed, they will be changed. What I know about this system, and no, honest, I don't know much about this system, but what I do know is that if there is a human intervention anywhere in the process from the time that my meter says the number and it gets to my bill, if there's a human somewhere in there, that number can be changed. Now, am I crying foul? Am I saying, you know what, foul on the play? Is that what I'm saying? I don't know if I'm saying that yet. I'm not crying foul, but I am saying the play needs to get reviewed. We need to call review on the play. That's what I'm calling. I'm throwing down the flag. Matter of fact, it's the red challenge flag, and I'm challenging what the result was, what the call on the field was. That's what I'm doing. I'm throwing down a challenge flag for what the call on the field was. I'm saying something's wrong. Something's wrong. Now, if they come back and they say, you know what? No, everything was right. Because that's what the rep said. The rep on the phone, she said, I've sent a signal or I tested the system. How are you testing the system if somebody else comes by and read the meter? Or does your system actually broadcast that meter through the internet somehow? I don't know how. It's not connected to my internet. Or are you saying that each one of these meters now have connection to a cell tower that get y'all the numbers on tap? I don't know, but I'm gonna find out. That is a rabbit hole that I'm willing to research. How does the meters in my area work? What is that system? What is the totality of how that system works? Because I want to know. At this point, I want to know. Do you want to know? I do. So maybe, just maybe we can come with another video soon where we're actually looking at a video that explains how these new meter reading systems work. I think that may be something that we need to do. But in the meantime, when you're talking to customer service, make sure that you control your emotions, right? Be emotionally mature, because a lot of times it can be frustrating. These calls can get very frustrating. Why? Because it deals with your money. It deals with the situation that you're dealing with, which is, I just don't want to pay that bill. That bill is way too high. And to you, to me, there's no reason for it to be. It's one thing if I felt like, you know what? Well, this month I threw a party. This month, I had everybody over for the game, for the Super Bowl. It was everybody at my house. We had all the lights on in the place and we were turned up. We had the music blasting. You know what I'm saying? People was live streaming off our internet and we was, you know what I mean? Like, if that was the case and what happened for the Super Bowl, when it was winter, we had a bunch of people at my house during winter to stay warm, and we turned the heat up so that way, because we was out playing in the snow, so we came in and turned the heat up. If we were doing that type of stuff, no complaints from me. Saw the bill, man, that's high. I mean, but I can understand we did this, that, or the third. We was really, we was really running that heat, boy, because it was hot in here, boy. We was sweating when we was in here. No, that's not happening. That's not happening in my place. So that's why I feel like I feel. I feel like it's very valid in the way I feel. However, I am mindful enough to know, okay, here's how they felt about it. This is what they said happened. This is what they said they tested. I don't know how they tested it, but they said that it was valid in their test. Okay, cool. Let's figure out how the system works, right? Let's figure out how the system works. Let's watch some videos on it. Figure out how the system works, do some research. Once we know how the system works, then we can call them back. And if we need to escalate, we will escalate. And I will follow back up with you guys, let you know how it goes. But in the meantime, between time, we might need to watch some videos. So if you want to watch that, make sure you join the Discord and or hit me in the chat and say, I want to watch them videos with you. If you tell me that you want to watch them videos with me, whether you send it in the Discord, right? Get into the Discord in the general group, tell me that you want to watch these videos with me about and do the research with me, right? Because I need people to do the research with me. Let's figure this out. Because if I'm being played, I'm pretty sure other people are being played too. So if you feel like your bill is exceptionally high for your electric, let's get in here. Let's figure this out. If they say it's considerably high with your water, let's get in here. Let's figure this out. We can look it all up. We can figure it out, find out what the real thing is, how it works, where the breakdown could be, right, in the system. And then we bring that to light. We bring that to light. Because there's no reason for people to be paying these high bills, especially if they have cut majority of their life and regulated how they operate their life. And they're not doing things like having parties and get-togethers and all these people are coming in here. You had taco night, so everybody's using up the water because they pooping everywhere and they need to keep flushing the toilet. And so all the water keeps getting used. If that's not happening, you don't have no water leaks, you don't have no electricity leaks. How would you have electricity leak? But let's say you do, then we need to figure it out. Okay, we need to figure it out. So make sure you tell a friend to tell a friend. Come follow your man, Rich Bees, the real Rich Bees, and we're gonna figure out coming very soon what's going on with this electric system, what's going on with this water system. How did these monopoly type companies read these meters so that way we can know? Because knowledge is power when we go back to customer service, and if we potentially may need to escalate to get our bill de-escalated. Thank y'all for coming out. I appreciate all that you've done. You've stayed in with me. You've heard me out. Listen, we're just this is what we do. We have conversations, we get better, we look at the situations, we be honest with ourselves, we be honest with others, we control our emotions, but we also express our emotions. And so as men, even as women, this is what we do. Thank you for joining. See you on the next one. This is Rich Bees. And Rich Bees is now out.